So what we will do is now we will see as part of ETL, right? Transformation, data transformation. We will take a look at how we are going to address the missing values in my data set. If you have any missing data in your data set, you need to check how many number of records you have missing data in it. Or you can find out the percentage of missing values, percentage of rows you have the missing values in your data set. Importantly, the columns which are going to use it for your report, it should not have the missing values. Supposing you have, let's say you have something like, so I'm going to use it here. You have something like in your data set, you have, in your data set, you have, let's, this hypothetically, listen, you have 1,000 rows are there, out of which, let's say 250 rows, you have the missing values are there. Missing values are there. Okay, 250 rows, you can, out of 1,000, 250 rows. So how much percentage? 25% of the data you have missing values. Importantly, the columns which you are going to use it as part of a report that have missing values in it. Okay. Let's say you are using, let's say this is the number of rows. In your data set, you have, let's say, 36 columns are there. Total, you have 36 columns and total number of rows is this one. Out of the 36 columns, for your report, you are going to use, let's say, 8 to 10 columns only. Right? So these columns, you are going to use it for your report. Right? If you have any missing values other than these columns, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, let it be there. We don't care about it. But these 8 to 10 columns, which are going to use it to create the report, you should not have any missing values. It can have, but it should not have too much of like 25% or 15% of data in this 8 to 10 column, or let's 10 columns, which are going to use it for report, right? It should not have 15%, 25% missing values in it. If you have missing values in these 10 columns, which you are going to use it to create your report, you need to immediately inform it to your application or customer. So these columns, we could see a lot of missing values, almost 15 to 25% of the records in these columns. We could see a blank values. Can you please give me some other data? This is scenario one. Okay. In the second scenario, yes, there are missing values, but hardly 5% missing values are there. But again, so if you give it to the customer, if you ask them to give another set of data, they are very busy. They may take more time to give the data. Okay. So in that case, finding out the best data will take time. There is a wait time. You need to sit idle here. Okay. So, okay, fine. There is no other way out. Okay. Another thing is like other scenarios, you have only 5% of the records for these 10 columns. Missing values are there. You just inform it to the customer. They said, okay, what you do is you can do some kind of imputation, data imputation. What is data imputation? Replacing the missing values with some reasonably good number of values in it. Okay, that is called a data imputation. This is also falls under data transformation. The ETL, the second part, the T, transformation. As for data transformation, you do the data imputation as well. For that, I will go to the Power BI desktop. What happened to Power BI desktop? It is not coming up. It is not getting launched. Okay, it is very, very slow. Power BI desktop. I'll just type it one more time. Power BI desktop. Yes, it is coming up. Let's wait for some time. So we know there is an option called data profiling, isn't it? There is an option called data profiling, using which we can profile the data. That is for the report developers or ETL developers. That is very much helpful. With that, you can find out how much percentage of valid data you have it in each column, how much percentage of error you have it in each column, how much blank values or empty values are there in each column. You can find out by with the help of the data profiling, the Power Query editor. There is an option called, there is a ribbon called the columns, add columns, right? When you click on that ribbon, there you will find the options like column profile and column quality, column distribution, these three options. When you select these three, it gives you additional statistics about each and every column. How much percentage of empty values are there in each column, and how much percent valid values. So with that, you can find out whether you have blank values, or let's say specific columns, right? Let's say 6 to 8 columns. You can see that there is a 1% or 2% of missing values are there. You have informed to the customer. So this is the data we have it. Can I go ahead and create the report? If they say yes, what you do is you can put some default value or something like that to address the missing values. Okay, you perform some kind of data imputation. Okay, in that kind of situation, how we are going to do that? So what options are available in Power Query Editor? Do I need to write any script, or can I leverage the Power Query Editor feature? So in Power Query editor, you have features like fill up, fill down option is available. Now we are going to explore the fill up and fill down option. Okay, with that, how we can do the data imputation. I just click on the get data here, and that is the XLS file. Now I'm going to click on Excel workbook. And here you will find missing values. This is the Excel file. I'm going to hit this open button. It will get loaded now. And here the fill missing is there. Okay, I just select this sheet. But don't think, in your case, they will give you a file name like this. This is for our learning purpose. I have named this file like this. Okay. In your original data, you will not find something like this. Okay, this is not the file I'm trying to find out. Not this one. Okay, I just cancel it. I just go here and so what is the difference between these two? Let me just, the same thing comes up here. Okay, I don't have that file. What we will do is we will, okay, I'll just use some file. Okay, let me do one thing. I will use the same file. Okay, so I will create a data quickly. Click on file, and I'm going to create a new Excel file. I just copy paste this, and this is my product, and eggs, ice cream, something like hand wash. Again, here something like this, or toiletries, toilet cleaner, and dead cleaner. Okay, toilet cleaner. and it also, okay, and it also, and here I'm going to say so, and here I'm going to put something like this. I have some missing values here. Okay, and here I'm going to say some value. There is no 20 or 6 or 8, something like that. Here I'm going to say salesperson. Okay, salesperson. This John and and DP or something like that. Okay, and here the salesperson is same. And here I'm going to say something like what do you say, Saurabh. Okay, here I just put, yeah, sorry, here what I'm going to do is I'm going to put DP here. Or else, okay, sorry, I'm going to put it here. Here, John, everything is there, fine. Here we have the missing values, okay? And in this case, you have the missing values here, okay? But here you can see 3 and 4, something like that, okay? You have an option called fill up and fill down. So what happens is, for example, if you take this column and it'll try to find out where the blank values. When it comes here, what it does is, if you use a fill down option, it until it finds the value in the cell, it replaces the blank value with the last the value here. So in this column, just before the blank value, this is the one we have it, right? This value will get filled till it finds the new value. Okay, but in this is called a fill down, and fill up is it will go and check wherever the blank values are there. Fine. In the case of fill down, what will happen is it will take this value, sorry, fill up. Okay, it will go and fill up this value until it finds any other value in this column. This is called your fill up and fill down. Okay, so I'm going to save it as fill up and fill down with the same name. Okay, fill up and down, missing values. Don't worry. Yes, I will share this. Yeah, Deepa, I will share this one. Don't worry. Okay. I create the data set. What I am going to do is I will load this data set here, Excel workbook, and I just click on it. Sheet 1. This is the value, right? Before even loading the data, you can see that there are 2 null values are there in the product column. And again, the column header is not showing the correct column name. You need to promote the first row as a column header. Okay, I'm going to click on transform data. Instead of loading data, I will directly take this data to my Power Query editor. And in the transform ribbon, when I click on the transform ribbon, and here, sorry, in the transform ribbon, it is not, yeah, in the transform ribbon, you have something use first row as it is, right? I'm going to select this one. So now the column names got assigned for each column, with a meaningful naming convention, right? Fine. The next step is I'm going to use it here. Okay, let me do. So we are in Power Query. Fine. So here I'm going to use something called fill option here. The transform ribbon will find something like fill down and fill up. Okay, I selected the product column, and if I select fill down, right, what is going to happen? See the ice cream. So up to ice cream, there are no issues, right? No blank values. Followed by the ice cream, we had 2 null values. So what happened? It picked up the value that was available just above the blank value, right? So the ice cream was there. It picked up the ice cream and it filled down that same value until it finds a new value here. Okay. A non-blank value. Until it finds a non-blank value, it replaces the blank value by the same value. Now Deepthi has to be replaced in the null. Okay. So here fill up. So you have something in this case, I'm going to select this column, right click on it. And here you don't see that option. Yeah, here also you have that option. Instead of going to the menu, you can find the option here also. Select the column and fill. Here we need to do app. You just see the magic. The Deepthi will get filled up in the blank values. Look here in the null. 6 nulls will get replaced with the Deepthi. Okay. Fill up. Look here, it's done. This is one way of doing it. See, in our shop, John and Deepthi, only 2 staffs are there, salesperson or staffs. They are the one doing the billing. In that case, you can see that Deepthi is already appearing more than once. In statistic, we have something called mode. In this kind of categorical column, salesperson is kind of a categorical column. Those employees' names are occurring more time. We are going to replace the blank value with the most popular name. Okay, that is, we use something called mode. Mode, in statistics school time we studied. The most frequently occurring value is called. So Deepthi was occurring more than once, but here how it works is the same way. Okay, here it is not going by the mode and all. Simply you need to use fill up and fill down. Fill down, what it does is just above the blank value, right? The record, the value just above the blank value, it picks up that. And when you use the fill down, that value will get filled in the subsequent places where you have blank values. So that's how the ice cream got filled in here. And fill up is, it goes at the bottom, okay? And whatever the blank values are, that one, for that, instead of picking up from the top, from the bottom, right, it will pick up this value and then it replaces the value. It replaces the null values by this value, Deepthi. This is fill up, this is called a fill down. It's pretty simple, okay? This is the feature we supports. Supposing I have null values here, what can I do in this case? If I have more null values, you can follow the same strategy, but that doesn't make any sense, isn't it? If you put 6 blindly wherever the null values are there, that doesn't make any sense. Right? We need to use some logic that is called your conditional mean. In statistics, we do some conditional. Blindly, we cannot take the average and replace wherever the null values are there by the average. We don't use it. Priyanka, yeah, she says, don't we create duplicates? Yes, we will have duplicates, but this is not a unique column, right? Salesperson is not a unique column. Product name, yes, obviously the product column, we are not supposed to have the duplicate values. What you're saying is very valid. Let's say you have some other column, right? Like region, instead of product, you have region, right? So somewhere you find blank values. The region column, you can have duplicate values. Product name, if it is a transaction data, yes, even the product name column, you can have the duplicates. If it is a dimension table, product name should not duplicate it, okay? That's a good question. Her question is, if you do it like this, don't we have duplicate values? Yes, we will have duplicate values. It's a transaction file, the order transaction. Let's the same day, Deepthi would have raised an invoice for or she would have generated the bill for different transactions. Okay, it can appear multiple times. There is nothing wrong here. It's a transaction data set. Even product also can. But if you are using a dimension table, the dimension table, the product ID and product name should not be duplicated. So in that case, you need to exercise caution. Blindly don't use the fill up or fill down. It will not work. In your transaction data set, order transaction or invoice transaction data set, you can use this one. But before you perform fill up or fill down, you check with customer. Is this okay? I'm going to do this one. If they say okay, then you can go ahead and do it. Okay, you can create it, something. Otherwise, what will happen is, if you plot a chart, right? By January 2020, or this is a sales column, okay? Sales and salesperson, if you drag and drop it, how much sales made by each salesperson? Deepthi and John, it will show. Rest of them, it will put blank, right? Blank, and so instead of showing blank, put all the blank with some meaningful name or something like that. Okay, fine. So this is what fill up and fill down. But in reality, what we do is we do some conditional mean. What we do is the other way is what we do is we will go and check whether the ice cream. For example, you have ice cream, and here the price is there. For this is the price, and for in this record, the ice cream we don't have to see the price. What we'll do a lookup in the same data set. Is there any other transaction where we invoiced the ice cream with the same brand and same thing? Okay, and what is the price? If that is available, you pick up that and replace it here. That is a little bit complex one. For that, better you can use Python or so in that kind of situation. Okay, you can use Python. See, even in the case of Excel file or flat file, if you are if you cannot perform exhaustive data transformation or the data imputation like this, and if you are good with Python, you can. Python supports some fill any. There is something called fill any. Wherever the blank values are there, there is a fill any. What it does is it automatically, for example, you are finding out on the average of all the entire column, and you want to replace the blank value by average, you can use the fill any. It automatically goes and checks wherever the null values are there in your column and replaces that null with what is the mean that you obtained as part of this column. Okay, I'm going to rename for the sake of our thing, right? Quantity. I'm going to say quantity. Okay. Product quantity and how many quantities sold by which person, right? So in this case, it is fine, but still you have another column. There you have sales amount. Sales, the amount divided by number of units sold. That gives you the price. This is another logic you can use it. So in that case, you need to create additional column. In that column, for example, you have a sales column. It's a 10. And to sell the 10 eggs, right? 10 egg boxes. You to sold this, your sales is each box cost 50 rupees. 50 into 10, 500. Here your sales, next one is salesperson. This is your sales column. Let's say 500 is there. 500 divided by 10, how much? 50. That is the price, right? This logic you can use it to create another column. Okay, so that way you can find out the price for each product. Okay, but that is not the correct one. But still, see, the price is not see, in the invoice you will find the selling price, right? You will not have the cost price. One way it is correct, but if you simply divide the sales amount divided by quantity, you cannot expect whatever you get is the correct price. Okay, maybe you would have given a discount, right? The sales amount after excluding the discount or after giving the discount, what is the total sales, right? The sales amount includes the discount value also, right? You need to use some special logic to derive new column to find out the price. And if your price column is not having correct values, let's say you have quantity and price and sales amount column, you don't see any blank values. But in the price, there are some values you find blank values. In that case, obviously, right, you can do you can replace the blank value by blank value with this formula. So sales divided by quantity, you can get, for that you need to create another column and price column, right? So you need to put it. It requires a little bit, it's a time consuming job, little bit time. You need to think and do it, okay? But whatever I explained so far, right, it is related to the built-in feature, the fill up and fill down. You can do this much, okay? But this is not the correct way of doing it. I'm not going to say this is the best way of doing it, okay? The best way of doing it, you have various options are available, but it requires some coding effort, okay? You need to be good at coding. So to do that, okay? If you are a smart guy, for example, like I said, I have a price column is available and the sales amount column is available, but only for a few products, I can see a blank value here in the price column. Simply what you do is you can create another column. In that column, what you do is use this logic: sales amount divided by quantity. That gives you the price. But you need to tell the customer, this is not the accurate price. This is kind of a ballpark. Okay, this is the estimated price. You can tell them. This is another way of doing the data imputation. Okay.